It's a little bigger than the classroom. Picture a white, two-story clapboard house, first frame house in Boone County, Nebraska, situated in the middle of a cornfield. Farm animals, windmill, water pump, rutted road, horse and buggy, tall sunflowers swaying in the breeze, gangly poplar tree windbreak, and walking 4 miles to school through the snow. Little house on the prairie? No. This is the homestead that my mother was born on. Born in 1912, my mother was 101 and a half when she passed away last October. And as I thought back over her life, I was struck by all the changes that she had seen in the century that she lived. She witnessed the First and Second World Wars, the Korean conflict, Vietnam, Desert Storm, and the war in Iraq. She was born 10 days before the sinking of the Titanic, but she read the headlines of the first transatlantic flight across the ocean by Lindbergh, the disaster of the Hindenburg, and she saw Neil Armstrong take those first big steps for mankind on the moon. She saw 18 presidents elected, 2 shot, 2 die in office, 2 impeached, 1 found guilty and resigned. She didn't ride in a car until she was almost in high school, and they didn't own one until she was out of high school and almost married. The first phone that they had in their home was a crank-up party line. You could listen to everybody and get all the news. About the time women received the right to vote, she saw the invention of bubble gum, penicillin, and sliced bread. But she loved to chew gum, but she only chewed half because she went through the Depression. And sliced bread didn't mean anything to her. She sliced the bread herself, the 4 to 8 loaves of bread that she needed and baked every week until she was in her 80s. She watched silent movies, talkies, movies where swell and gee whiz were censorable. We got our first TV in 1955. It was a black and white console and it had 7 channels. Wow. The cable brought her hundreds of channels, but she still loved to watch TV Land, Andy Griffin, Leave It to Beaver, and Gunsmoke, even at the end. She didn't get her first remote control until she moved into assisted living in 2007. One of my favorite stories about her involved the remote. She called me a few months after getting that TV, and she said, "Joyce, the TV's broken." I said, "Mom, it's not. Well, let's figure out what happened." Well, my friend came over and brought her granddaughter with her. She wanted to watch TV, but there was no sound. "Okay, Mom, maybe they turned the sound down. Do you have the remote control there?" "Yes." "Do you see the 2 arrows, one pointing left, one pointing right?" "Yes." "Well, push the one pointing right." Nothing happened. "Push it again." Nothing happened. Okay, I thought, what else could it be? The mute button. "Okay, Mom, do you see the little round button that's on the left that says mute?" "Yes." "Push that." Yep, you guessed it. The TV blared. Well, I tried to get her attention and tell her to push the left button. She kept saying, "Just a minute, just a minute. I can't hear you, just a minute." Finally, the TV was getting quieter and quieter, and I thought, okay, she's got it figured out. One more, "Just a minute," and then it was quiet. Good, I thought. Okay, I'm now in the closet, what do I do? No, my mom wasn't techno-savvy. She never had a computer, email account, or cell phone. Why? The remote control did her in. As teachers, we are told that we are graduating you as seniors who will vie for jobs that have not yet been created. Information is changing so fast. New scientific discoveries bring more to education and learning yearly. You learn so much more in class than I did or your parents did when we were in high school. 2 years before I graduated from high school, DNA was discovered. Yeah, I'm that old. Deoxyribonucleic acid was as strange to me then as it is familiar to you who have had beginning biology. Yet DNA wasn't new, just new to man's understanding. The atom bomb and fission is a 20th century phenomenon, but the idea of the atom was proposed by Coley in 500 BC, and even more so, it existed in the beginning when God created. A few months ago, I was listening to Dr. J. Vernon McGee, my mom's favorite radio minister. He was reading Ecclesiastes 1:9. There is no new thing under the sun, he said. I had trouble rationalizing all the things that my mom had seen happen with this statement, no new thing under the sun. I wanted to rationalize it. How could my mom have seen all these things? Discoveries, advances in science, learning, and technology. So how does change equate with nothing new? Solomon, the wisest man to live, went on to say that he searched for happiness through pleasure, but it didn't please. He sought houses, vineyards, wealth, horses, women, but they did not fulfill. He considered wisdom, comedy, and knowledge. They did not gratify. He wanted the wisest, newest, most, best. But in the end, he lamented them as vanity. Vanity, all is vanity. When he added them up, they equaled 0. New advancements are going to bring change, but they won't necessarily bring contentment. I believe what is truly important in life never changes, and that is what Solomon meant. It is our relationships that count. Relationships we have with friends, with family, and with God. That is our purpose in life. You have made friends at Brethren. You spoke of them yesterday at senior breakfast, how you wanted to hold on to them. Those up here have spoken of friendships also. But realize that as you try to continue to hold them close, that true friendship will not be found on Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media. It is fun for a season, but it is shallow, mundane, and lacks intimacy. It is time invested in each other's lives that will keep friendships growing. Time devoted to prayer for each other. Time spent in each other's presence, in their own homes, eating together, laughing together, worshiping together, and, as Spencer said, grieving together. That will truly cement relationships. And family. When my mom met my dad on a blind date for a Halloween dance in 1933, they began a relationship that lasted 45 years of marriage. And for 35 years after he died, she still considered him her best friend. When I met my husband, ironically also on Halloween, this time at Campus Life's haunted house, we began a relationship that has lasted for 42 years of marriage. And he also is my best friend. And though my daughter met her husband on the internet, I pray that their relationship will continue to grow through the years as ours have. The feelings my mom and dad have for each other were not new. The feelings that David and I have, Rebecca and Jason have, are not new under the sun. But it takes faith and restraint to remain committed to each other. So as you as future husbands and future wives, think about your mates. Choose wisely based upon what God wants for you. And then stay in love with that mate. And God, The Westminster Catechism says that man's purpose in life is to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. It will not be success in your job, wealth in the bank, or prestige and power that will be your true purpose in life. You won't find contentment in man-made goals. You were created strictly to glorify Him. So get to know Him intimately. Enjoy Him immensely. Converse with Him daily. Read His words of love that He wrote to you. Talk with Him as you start your morning and walk with Him in the cool of the evening. Find your purpose in Him. No, He is not new, but He is the only true relationship worth preserving. Thank you.